it feels like, oh, music can help a lot, whereas on other it has inspired me, it has given me, but like on other days it's like it hasn't done shit, right? Okay, right. Now, different example. When I'm working, every once in a while I want to like go for a walk. I really like going for a walk or taking a break. I don't know, like going on YouTube or like watching a video as a break or eating something, right? Going for YouTube to walk, right? Fuck, what the fuck is this? What the fuck did I? What did I write? Go to YouTube, go eat something, or and so yeah, like when I'm working, and sometimes I wanna like go for a walk in between work, like go on YouTube or eat something. On some days when I go for a walk, some days when I'm working, I end up going for a walk. I decide to go for a walk. It helps my work. It helps my work. On some days, it doesn't help my work. It almost feels like I come from a walk. I almost like kind of like I don't know how to explain, but like on some days when I go for a walk, I'm kind of like fine with it. But on some other days, I kind of get lost in the walk and I kind of get interested in everything around it, and I kind of like changes my I don't know, just kind of like I don't know explain it. I don't know how to explain, but like it just breaks the flow. But like on some other day, it doesn't break the flow, and it helps the flow and it helps everything. Same with all of these things. So like it's like so confusing, because like it almost feels like these things help, but like they don't help every time. Sometimes they help, sometimes they don't help, and it's so hard to predict whether or not they're gonna help. And how do you like what do you do, like how do you like make decisions, how do you make a routine, like should I go for a walk every morning or should I not? Because sometimes it helps, sometimes a walk makes me not want to work, sometimes it makes me want to work, sometimes it doesn't make me want to work. So like what the fuck do I do, right? Do I go for a walk, do I not go for a walk? And I was like so like confused about this for such a for such a for a good amount of time. I was like so confused about it, right? And then I watched Dr. K's video. I don't like as I said earlier, he was talking about time blindness, where it's like your brain just like kind of like just like I'm gonna explain how this relates to this. So like I don't know, maybe you like guys can like I don't know, I feel like you guys can like kind of like or you kind of really like figure out where I'm going with this, right? So like yeah, I guess you guys can kind of like see where I'm going with this, but like yeah, I'm gonna like talk about this. So like a lot of people with ADHD, or at least me, I don't know if I'm ADHD or not, but I do feel like I am. So like a lot of people who ADHD are kind of like whenever they do things, for example, go for a walk or watch YouTube video or listen to music, I'm gonna explain to you why you shouldn't go to YouTube. Why you should like open YouTube in the open YouTube as soon as you wake up. Why I think it's a bad idea. I don't think going for a walk as soon as you wake up is a bad idea, and that's why. But yeah, when you have ADHD, you kind of like you're not like, let's say you're gonna walk, you're kind of like you kind of get absorbed in this thing that you are thinking about on the walk, or like you just kind of get very absorbed with the thing, and you're not like aware. I don't know how to explain, but like you just get lost. You're not like you just zoned out into your head. And sometimes when you zone out, you can enter you can like, for example, when I was talking about how whenever I would go for sometimes when I would go for a walk, as soon as I wake up, I don't know which one is correct. Wake up. As soon as I wake up, I would kind of like, I would go for like a walk, and sometimes it would help, sometimes it wouldn't help. I think that sometimes when I would go for a walk, I would zone out and like start thinking about the work. I would like think about the work, like what I need to do, what ideas do I need to get, and I guess when I wasn't aware of this, I was kind of like, kind of like I was just like, I went for a walk. I had work on my mind, like what I wanted to do, and I kind of like just like automatically just kind of like decide to think about it. But on other days, when I went for a walk, I didn't think about it. I thought about something else. Now, just because I wasn't thinking about work, it doesn't mean it's an unproductive walk. I can still go for a walk, not thinking about what I need to do, and still it would still be a very productive walk, right? But if you kind of like observe your walks carefully, at least when I kind of observed my walks, I kind of started to notice a pattern. Like there was like a certain way that I would think, which would kind of like put me in a certain mood. Like I don't know how to explain, but like if you kind of like observe, like for example, like this is day one, walk one. You go for a walk, and you try to observe the walk, right? You try to observe the walk, right? You don't interfere in it. You just kind of like do your usual routine, but you just observe it. Try to like observe it, right? Observe it, right? Observe it. Go for a walk, go for a walk, go for a walk, and you kind of like see this, like this becomes like a data, right? You say that this was like a good day. This walk was a good walk. It made you want to work more, right? This data goes to your into your head, and it's like registered at it kind of like start to like figure out what you like. Your brain's gonna like try to like figure out what you were thinking about during this walk that made it a good walk. Anyways, day two comes around. You go for a walk again. You went for a walk. You didn't like this walk was different than this walk, but it was still productive. It's still like it still didn't. It still helped with your work. And if it even if it didn't help with your work, it at least didn't like who like kind of didn't make like some walks. It didn't like it didn't feel like it was like it messed up. You don't regret this walk. So yeah, this data also goes on this in your brain, and you kind of like register this. Day three, you go for a walk again. Now this walk, for whatever reason, you go for on this walk. I don't know, maybe like this walk was too long. You kind of like got lost into like thinking about everything else around your surrounding. You didn't like think about anything. You kind of like zoned out. You were thinking about something else. Now this was the bad walk. This just goes back into your brain, and your brain kind of like starts to look for a pattern in these walk. Like what are you doing in this walk which is making this productive? This is also like a fine walk, but like what's up with this one? And the more data you give this your brain, the better it gets. Essentially it's like kind of like basically your brain is kind of like taking the data, and it's trying to like figure out like the like some people have like people like talk about how you have to like take like how machines take data and they give an output, and then they kind of like go through the output again, and basically like they get feedback and they try to improve. I think people with ADHD don't they're like feedback machine is they're like feedback functionality is kind of like messed up, because like firstly they don't like capture the data correctly. For example, a lot of time I remember when I would go for a walk, I just wouldn't remember the walk. I would just impulsively go for a walk, and I just wouldn't remember anything that I thought on the walk. So I wouldn't like capture this. Even if I did capture it, I wouldn't like think about it much at all. I would be like, oh yeah, whatever, I went for a walk. The biggest changes I made was like, what is it that I need to do on the walk to make it, like, I kind of like captured the walk. I try to like think about like what did made it different, what can I do to improve on this. And then day two come, and the more that I kind of like expert, like kind of like don't like, you don't have to like worry about it too much. You kind of just need to be a little bit more aware of this and try to like think, oh yeah, I did, like, you kind of like on day four you go and you kind of like try to like be like, oh yeah, what was the thing that, like, your brain would kind of like suspect what it is that made this day three walk bad, and would try to like avoid it and check whether or not its assumptions are correct. Like it made us like, basically it made an assumption that maybe you were thinking about a certain person on this walk, or like maybe you were like being too observant of other things, or like you were trying to like force yourself to do something. You maybe, and so maybe like one of these claims is correct and two of them are false. So your brain would kind of like try to check its assumption and see which one is the one causing the problem. You don't have to worry about it too much. You can brain kind of, at least from me, it kind of just happens on autopilot. I just try to like replicate the good times and everything is like fine. It's kind of hard to like explain it, and I'm kind of like overcomplicating it, but like basically go for a walk, try to make it a good walk, try to see what is it that happens on good walk and try to like do more of it, try to be more aware of it, and basically that's gonna help. Now how does it kind of like tie back to everything? With the work example, like I said, sometimes I would go for a walk, sometimes on walk when I would work I would go for a walk, and sometimes the walk would help, sometimes it wouldn't help. Same applies. What was it about the walk that, what was it about the good walk that made the good walks good walk, and what was about the bad walk that made the bad walk, right? You kind of like just need to like see it, like kind of like what was it about the bad, was it like too long, did you like, is it that you were thinking about other things, is that what it made the bad walk bad, or is it like you were kind of like forcing yourself, or like you were like worrying about something, or like something, so like you try to like really figure out and you try to like repeat the good walks. And for me, I think my personally, I can go for walks during work as long as the walk is not like too long, and I still try to like think about it. And another thing that I've noticed is like if I go for a walk, if I work, I really can't like, sometimes I can't like, I don't know, like, sometimes I would like get tired and I would like go and eat something, then I would come back and I wouldn't want to work. So like I don't know, like kind of like you figure out what the pattern is, like what is the pattern, right? You try to like figure out what can I do during work, what can I not do during work. Anyway, you go for a walk, you work, then maybe you want to like, you think, oh yeah, what should I do next? You kind of like try things out. You like, okay, should I read a book, should I like think about work, should I like stare at the wall, like what should I do? And basically you try things out as a whole. It kind of like feeds into your brain. You make changes on day two, you make little changes, the new data is fed into your brain, and basically your brain kind of like tries to improve it, and slowly you will find a way where you can, you don't you wouldn't, I would say you would get to a point where like you would be, at least I'm not at that point yet, but like you would be at a point where like you would be at a structured, you would have like a semi-structured, semi-unstructured routine, right? So like semi-structured, semi-unstructured routine, which is kind of dynamic, like it's not restrict, like it's not like you have to go for a walk. You can kind of, I don't know, you can kind of like I don't know, like maybe like just like read a book or something if you wanna. I really don't recommend YouTube because like it's like so fucking, YouTube is like, it's like not worth it. I've tried it and I usually, you just get lost in this, especially if you have ADHD. I guess you should like do your work and try to stay away from dangerous activities like YouTube and Instagram as long as you have not done the important work. I also kind of like